Okay, you just got some high quality video of me erasing my whiteboard because I forgot to after my last video. Okay, so we are going to do number 3 from your syllogism review and hypothetical practice worksheet. And this is what it looks like. Some modern maps are not parchments, and no modern maps are skins. It follows that some parchments are skins. So our conclusion is what we're going to start with first, and this one's not too hard. It follows that is our signal that we're talking about our conclusion. So I'm going to write that. And since it says it follows that some parchments are skins, I'm going to say some PRS. Okay, now my two premises. Remember, since we're drawing diagrams, I don't really care which order they go in, so I'm just going to go in the order that it's in on your assignment. So the first premise says some maps are not parchments. So some modern maps are not parchments. And then my second premise says that no modern maps are skins. No modern maps are skins. Why did I decide that I was just going to write out skins? Okay. Boom. All right, so here's my abbreviated form of my arguments. I'm going to draw a diagram. So first thing, some modern maps are not parchments. So I'm going to draw my parchment category. I always start with the thing that's the predicate of my first premise. That's the parchment category. And what I know is that there are some modern maps that are not in that category. I do not know if there are some that are in the category. All I know is that there are some that are not. So I'm going to draw the some that are not over here. And these are the modern maps. I don't know if there's some that are in there. That's why I draw a dotted line right there. Okay, so some modern maps are not parchments. My second premise says that no modern maps are skins. So here is the thing about no statements. There are so many possibilities for where I could draw these, because all I need to make sure is wherever I put my skins circle, it just needs to not be touching my modern map circle. So I am, depending upon what my conclusion says, I'm really doubtful about this argument's validity. So I'm going to draw my skins category, I don't know, somewhere over here. So there it is. And I made sure that there are no modern maps that are touching that skins category, so I'm good. Okay, so here are my two premises. Now I'm going to ask myself, does my conclusion necessarily have to happen? So here's my conclusion. I can't even remember what P stands for. What's P stand for? Oh, parchments, sorry. Okay, it's been a long day. So my conclusion says some parchments are skins. How on earth could you possibly think that? How could you state that? Okay, I could have drawn this skins category. I could have drawn it down here. I could have drawn it way over here. This is a ridiculous argument. Okay. And remember what I was saying, like as soon as I saw this no statement, I was immediately thinking like, okay, this is going to be really hard for this argument to be valid. Well, it turned out to be that way. There are so many different ways that I could put my skins category where it would not have to have anything to do with my parchment category. So this argument is very obviously invalid. Now, even though it's pretty obvious it's invalid, I still want you to write a counterexample. And remember, we're going to take the same form of the argument and we're going to replace it with different words that make it easier for us to tell that it's invalid. And that's what a counterexample is. So remember that wherever you put This is the subject. The modern maps is the subject up there, and it's also the subject right there. So I need to make sure that I'm putting things in the same spots. Parchments was right here. Parchments is now right here in my conclusion. And then my skins is the predicate of both my second premise and my conclusion. So I just need to make sure that I match up my new words with what I'm doing. Okay, so I need to think of a sum not statement using easy categories. Now, I use dogs for one of them, and the last one I use mammals and animals. And that one actually was super easy for me to find a counterexample because I use such broad categories of things. And so what I'm going to do is let's use cats. So I'm going to say some blank are not blank. No blank are blank. And my conclusion says some blank are blank. Okay. So whatever I pick to go right here, I need to make sure it goes down there as well. So I'm going to use cats, and I'm going to say that some cats are not lions, and that is true. Some cats are not lions. It's pretty obviously true. Okay, now since I put cats right there, I need to make sure that cats goes right there too. Now, I'm going to say no cats are blank. Now, I don't know what to put there yet, but I do know that this green word right here also shows up down here in my conclusion. So I need to make sure I copy that down. Okay. All right, so here's my job. Remember, I've already shown that this is invalid from my diagram. I'm trying to show a counterexample to just make it completely obvious that this is invalid. So what I'm aiming for is I'm aiming to find a word, that's my blue square word, that no cats are that, but some lions are that. So what is something that doesn't have anything to do with cats, but does have something to do with lions? Wait. Hold on. How is it even possible? I don't even know how this is possible to think of something that's not having to do anything with a cat, but it is having to do something with a lion. And the reason why I'm thinking this is really not possible is because lion is a type of cat. So it's like saying, like, okay, this thing over here has nothing to do with this entire category of cats, but it does have something to do with this specific specific species of cat. I don't know. Let me put in anything. No cats are tubas. Some lions are tubas. Now, this might seem ridiculous. It might seem like that's not true, Mrs. Warren. It's not true that some lions are tubas. Well, that's the whole entire point of what I was trying to do. Remember, a counterexample is trying to clearly show how ridiculous an argument is. Okay, so this is saying, okay, we all know it's true that some cats are not lions. We all know it's true that no cats are tubas. This argument up here is like saying that means that some lions are tubas. That's ridiculous. It's not true. Okay, so if my conclusion is false, that means I did my job. And this is a counterexample showing me that this argument leads to a really bad conclusion. It leads to something that's ridiculous and invalid. So I have given my counterexample to further prove that it is invalid.